Because it's time for our keynote, which is going to be a discussion between me and Dilaram. Please welcome up on stage. Let's head over here to the couches. Hello, Dilaram. How are you feeling?
Scared.
Are you scared?
No, I'm feeling good.
That's good.
Just a bit unusual to be here, I guess.
Unusual to be here.
Yeah.
Your first time having
Yeah,
this
exactly.
type of conversation. I'm sure it's going to be fine. You can
Thank
relax.
you.
But please, could you start by maybe telling us a little bit about yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, that's so hard. So I'm also an indie developer. The title is optional, but officially I'm CEO and producer. My name is Dilaram Massimova. Pretty difficult, so you can call me Dilla, Dilara, Dil shapes if you know me like really well, but not always. So yeah, I do love those though. So yeah, that's basically who I am and what I do.
Mhm.
I work with mobile games primarily.
Yeah, your company is called
PocApp.
PocApp. Sorry,
Exactly.
yeah, PocApp. All
Yes.
right. Could you tell us a little bit about your company?
So we're a company founded by game development students from Skövde, and we came together in hopes of making a cool cat game or a crazy cat game, and then we continued doing those. So we could produce 3 cat games, and now we're officially done a dog game. So we're super happy. So basically, we're a pet company now, and we love our office dogs. So that's us.
Because your first game was Castle Cats your first game or
No, actually, it was our third.
third game?
So yeah, so our first game was called Carpe Kitty. I do not recommend you to Google search that because it stands for something completely different. And yeah, don't do that, or do it if you want to have a laugh. So we kind of regret that name, but it was a super fun experience. And then our second game is called Sling a Kitty, and it's also a good experience creating like level-based mobile games. But we quickly realized that those are so expensive to create, so we ditched that thought, and that's why we created Castle Cats, which is a bit more development friendly, but not that much really. But still, it's a much easier game to manage and create
Yeah.
and how do you say entertain people with.
Yeah. I get the feeling that a lot of game developers sort of learn over the first few. You have to try some things and then you sort of hone in like on what you want to
Exactly.
make and
Yeah.
like you learn from experience.
That's why you should do multiple games like before you do your dream game.
Exactly. I mean, I think so many, especially students, maybe they feel like they want to make this magnum opus, like this game that I want to be famous for, but just don't ever start with that because you are going to have some challenges, whether you think so or not, in the beginning, and
Definitely.
like you will be so much better in a few years, and you will know so much more.
Exactly, like experience is key. Like that will help you so much, and it will make your journey a bit easier the more you have. So
Definitely.
you shouldn't underestimate that. Definitely.
So how did you decide to make a dog game after these
Oh,
cat games?
because we love dogs. I mean, the weird thing that's what we were a cat company, and people thought we hated dogs simply because we do cat games, and that's not true at all. We love dogs. We have office dogs, and this was like our comeback. Like, look, world, we like those dogs. Like we love dogs, and it was super fun to do that. I mean, our fan base also requested it, so it was kind of like we joked about it as an April's Fool's joke like 2 years ago, and they didn't like forget about it. So we had to fulfill our promise and just deliver, and we did.
I get to feel like some April Fool's jokes are like almost testing the water. Like,
Exactly.
what if we made this kind of game and see if everyone hates it, it's like, oh, it was just an April Fool's
Yeah.
joke, and if people love it, it's like, guess we're making this now.
Exactly. But it took us like 1.5 years to decide to do that.
Okay,
But
okay, yeah.
it was still super fun, and the fact that people didn't forget and were like continuing to ask us about it, kind of really drove us to do it.
What's the name of the game?
Dungeon Dogs?
Dungeon Dogs. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about that
The
game?
game?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's basically the same as Castle Cats, but with a completely new narrative, like completely new characters. They're super cute, and it's still a collectible game. It's mobile, free to play, so purchases are definitely optional, and they're basically just cosmetics. But yeah, that is what you do. You're the guild leader or a captain of dogs. Dogs that are going to rebel against the evil cat king or ruler. So yeah, the I'm not sure if I said too much there. Maybe I spoiled this story. I hope I didn't.
No one heard that.
Yeah.
So is it set in the same universe as the cat games, or?
I'm pretty sure my game writer doesn't want me to tell you that.
Oh, okay.
So
I
that's
have to find out on my
exactly.
own.
I have to find
Right,
out.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So what's your what was your first favorite game personally? Like, what did you play as a kid?
That's so difficult, but I would say it was like The Sims 1 or something, because me and my friend had this DLC with pets, and you had to have it on a CD, so we had to like borrow it from each other and then play it, and that was like my favorite computer game of all time.
It's like already there you had a pets kind of.
Yeah, I had the pets. It was super important. So yeah, it began there actually. That was my first like favorite game, and then of course I've had multiple after that.
Yeah. So, like, do you have any special games that have inspired you along the way to do the kind of games that you make now?
Oh, like for mobile?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that actually. I think most of our inspiration for our games actually come from the computer games that we loved, or console games. Like for me personally, I love games like, well, yeah, I still love The Sims, and also I love like Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, etc. Those are like epic adventure sagas. So Mass Effect, those kind of games. So I do love a game with a good narrative and options, and unfortunately, I don't have that in our game. But we do have a lot of narrative, and and our fans really love it. But yeah, games that inspired us are actually World of Warcraft. Like the whole mechanics behind the game comes from the garrison feature in one of the updates, so to say. So yeah, that was our main inspiration source for the game.
That's really interesting. Like, it's such a different game, but like still you can. I think it goes to show that you can get inspiration from any game. Like, you can just take one feature. Like, this feature is great. Let's continue working on that.
We looked at it. We just looked at it and thought that, I mean, why hasn't it been done on mobile? And then we did it, and gratefully it worked out.
Yeah. That's so good. So why did you personally choose to be a game developer?
Despite my parents, no, not really. I just found it super fun. Like when I came to Skövde, I thought I would be doing like artisty things. I wanted to study concept art and like draw cool characters, and then I just realized that the game sphere is so fun. It's super fun to have people who know, and have played so many more games than you have, and they have so much experience. And then you had these indie successes, and you got inspired, and you just thought, why should I do something boring with my life when I could do something fun and like continue this journey of being a game developer? And at the moment, I just thought, I didn't think I would become an indie developer, so that just happened, and I'm really grateful for that.
What did you think you?
I always thought I would become a doctor because my parents are. So I just thought I just talked to them and said, but can't I just do this for fun, like a semester, or what do you call it? And then we will see. And then I was like, no, one more, one more. And then 3 years had passed, and I had graduated and everything. And my parents gave up. But they're still like, how is your business going? Maybe you should switch careers.
But you're doing well, right?
I hope, but I mean, they're doctors, so they are kind of annoying.
High standards.
Yeah, they have high standards. So it's difficult, but it's still very fun, and they love the work I do now. But it's still, sometimes we have a debate, like what is the right career path? And I'm kind of telling them that it's too late to change, or actually, not really. But I don't want to. I love the games and the business that I'm in, so. I'm really grateful for the fact that it was an option for me.
Yeah. What is it about the games industry that you like?
The creativity, like the amount of games. There's so many games, and there's so little time. Like that is my constant, pain in my life, is that I can't play everything. Like there's just no time. And then to decide which game should I play, which game should I let consume me. That is so difficult. Like it sometimes makes you just paralyzes you. You can't play anything because you want to play everything.
You have like the Steam list,
exactly.
Your library,
it haunts you.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you just have to buy one more on the next Steam sale anyway.
so difficult, but I think that's what makes it fun. Like you can do anything basically.
Do you play like to get inspiration? Like, do you play other mobile games to see what they're doing, or like
Definitely.
to check out the market? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So currently I'm playing Genshin Impact
Mm.
simply because it was a cross-platform mobile game, and it's so cool. Like it was. I love that. Like when people do something you don't expect and actually deliver something of quality.
Mm.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy that mobile games can do that. Like that the standards are getting higher and higher for every year. It's so fun because people didn't really think that would happen. Like they just thought that, mobile is always going to be the toilet kind of games.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you just understood that reference by default.
No, I understand. Like, so I'm really happy that there are like more quality games, like the ones
Yeah.
you're making, and others around Sweden and the world as well. Like, there are some that really take mobile gaming seriously,
Yeah.
and I think that's especially important considering like the target demographics that play on mobile to take those seriously. Like, these people deserve good games,
Exactly.
and like everyone wins if these games are good, and people want to keep playing. So, but
Yeah.
like when you look at some mobile games, like. Yeah, you
You
didn't.
question your choice of.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it feels like
exactly.
some just want to, because it's so cheap, it's so easy to make mobile
Exactly.
games. Like they just make another one, and they all look like.
It didn't
I'm not
look like.
mentioning any names or anything because they usually don't. There are no brands.
I completely
Um,
understand. I
mm,
completely understand your
yeah.
point.
So it just goes to show that it's so cool to see companies that really make good mobile games. They
Yeah.
take it seriously. So good on you. um, What would you say is the most important thing to consider for future game devs, like the students that are watching right now? Like, do you have any specific things that they should think about?
Oh, definitely. I think that my most important tip is to treat it like a business, because, I mean, realize where you're coming from. Do you want to do games as a hobby? Then you have a completely different set of rules. But if you want to, how to say, create a business, you have to learn the rules. So you have to learn what to do. You have so much more. How to say that in English? Like begränsningar.
Yeah,
Limitations.
limitations. Yeah.
Exactly, because it's quite difficult to become a self-sustaining developer without a publisher or an investor. It's quite a journey, and you have to be mentally prepared to do that. It just isn't fun all the time. Like it requires a lot of hard work, and that is what you have to think about when you want to go on that journey. That it's not going to be like fun and games all the time. You will have to pitch and do like things that you didn't imagine you would be doing, and that will be completely necessary for your future career and your success.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to go into it, for sure,
Exactly.
definitely.
Yeah, you have to realize that it will be quite uncomfortable most of the time.
Yeah.
But still, like the highs will be so high. Like you
Yeah.
will be so happy, so it will be worth it.
Yeah, often tell that to people as well. Like, it's not for everyone because like
Exactly.
going indie is a challenge. But if you are that kind of person, there is no other option because like the highs are so
Exactly.
high, and if you're the kind of person who can appreciate and get through the tough times as well, like you will get that high as
You
well.
will be
So it's-
rewarded.
Yeah,
Basically.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for everyone. Definitely.
Yeah. But you mentioned you don't have investors, you don't have a publisher or anything,
No.
right? You're going completely indie.
Completely indie,
You're
like
true
independent, true indie.
Yeah, that's quite
Exactly.
rare, I'd say.
It's very rare and it's very tough. So that's why, excuse me, that's why I think that you should really like decide if that is something you want to do. Because if you want to find a publisher or an investor, that is a completely different path actually, and you have to know what to do like all the time, because a failure means that you won't succeed. Simply.
Can you tell us about the reasoning why you have not gone with investor or publisher?
Oh, I mean, we definitely tried. We were recommended like everyone else. Like you should find a publisher. You should find an investor, and we tried. We spent so many years like
Right.
trying to get one, and we weren't ready. Like we were so new. We were so we had no experience at all, and who can't see that? I mean, people. This is investors and publishers. That's their job. Like to see good business opportunities, and when you have a studio that doesn't know how to manage a game business, why should you invest? Like that is just silly. So yeah, I mean, we tried. It didn't work out for us, but then we just decided that shouldn't be a problem, and we actually had a game that we could self-publish, and we did and then we realized that, now we don't need anyone anymore. So that's definitely a big relief to know that you don't have to try to please anyone else. Like you can just look at your own numbers, your own data, and do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the plan for the future as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I think it's so cool to be completely indie because it's like I said, it's so rare these days. Tell us a little bit more about your company. Like, how many people are you? Like, where's your office? Stuff like that.
Oh, our office is here in Skövde, in the Science Park, and we're about 15 at the moment, 12 at the office, and some that work from home. So yeah, we're quite a small studio, but we're growing. It's going to be next year is going to be super fun because we've started to work on our 5th game.
Ooh,
So yeah, that is super exciting, but it's also terrifying because we're indie devs. So like that is a risk that we are taking all on our own, and I'm super excited about that. I think the rest of the studios as well. We have office dogs, one Shiba Inu, one called Taki. We call him Ataki sometimes. And then we have Corgi Welsh cardigan, I think, called Exton. And they are actually both in our newest game, Dungeon Dogs. Yeah. They had to be. They're so cute.
But then I'm sure that a lot of students are listening and thinking, so will you be hiring? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely we will be hiring for next year.
Yeah. Do you know already what you will be looking for so people can prepare?
Well, something that is completely new to us is that we will be hiring 3D artists for the first time, and also we will most likely look into animation, and then we will have maybe a designer spot and a programmer spot open, but not now.
No,
We have to come a little bit further into the project, but hopefully I will be able to announce quite a few job openings soon.
Interesting, exciting. So in that case, like, what are you looking for in an applicant? Like the perfect applicant for your company, what does that look like?
Oh, I think that the perfect applicant loves pets as much as we do, or understands that we are crazy about our pets. Loves fika because that is all we do most of the time. We like to eat our fika and torta and stuff. Yeah, cake, basically. And then I think that they should be ambitious and self-independent, kind of is that right? Self-independent?
Yeah,
Self-dependent. I'm not sure.
I don't understand
But they
what
should
you
be
mean.
quite, how to say, they should be able to manage themselves because we're such a small studio and sometimes you wear different hats. And that, I mean, even though we are 15 now, we still change hats when we needed to. And I think that you should be able to be flexible like that when you come to an indie studio like ours. It is a bit different because, I mean, if you go to a AAA studio, maybe we'll have like one role and that is like your whole thing. But that won't be the case with us. You will basically be able to partake in everything if you want.
Cool.
So yeah.
Is there anything that you wish that you would have known before starting this company?
Oh God, I wish I knew everything. Actually, I wish I knew how hard it would be, kind of. But at the same time, I'm very grateful I did not know because the fact that you don't know makes it so much easier for you to like tackle challenges because you simply don't know how hard they will be. You will think, I will solve it. It will work. It will work out. You don't know the harsh realities of life, kind of. So I think that just one thing is that events need proper preparation time. Events, like when you go to publisher meetings and such, you shouldn't treat those lightly like we did. You should really invest and commit to that if you want to do it. But if you're not ready to invest and commit, you will be disappointed because no one kind of like just throws money at you.
No.
Just for being nice.
Like, what do you mean by being prepared? Like, what didn't you have? What do you wish that you would have had?
I just wish I had more experience. Like I had asked people that had done it before, like tried to find as much information as I could. Like talked with successful devs, talked with devs that didn't succeed, and tried to learn from them before I like created my own business plan before I even started to look at my own pitch deck, because from every event we kind of learned one thing. But it would have been so much easier if I just had tried to get that information first and didn't have to like go to an event, spend a lot of money, spend a lot of time, when I could just simply have tried to learn as much as I could beforehand. I'm not sure if I explained it properly, but basically didn't do our homework. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for me to say what you should do now. But yeah, just try to be as prepared as you can.
Yeah. So in terms of like building the pitch deck or knowing the one you're talking to, is it that kind of preparation you mean?
Definitely know what you're talking to. Like, look at other people's business plans before you create your own that looks insane. I mean, you should know what is reasonable to ask for and what is not. Because we simply didn't, and that definitely didn't help us at all. I mean, people saw through that.
Yeah.
And just saw how new we were. I mean, they can just wait another year for another GDC and see where we are then. I mean, they can always wait. Well, you can't.
Yeah, I think you're really touching on something important, that first of all, know what you are looking for.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when I listen to pitches, it almost sounds like, we'll just take whatever you give us. Like,
Yeah,
we can change
exactly.
the game, no worries.
Yeah, we will
But
eat
like,
noodles.
yeah, but like there are so many game teams, and like if you don't know what you're doing, why should anyone invest in you? So like, no, we are making this kind of game. Take it or leave it, and like some might leave it, and that's fine. But like if you aren't selling anything, no one will be buying.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't have a price tag, then no one will be buying either. Like if you don't know how much money you need, no one's gonna give you that money, because no one's gonna be like, okay, have 1 million or have 10 million. It's like you have to say, okay, we need 3 million to deliver this.
Yeah, and it has to be reasonable,
be.
because they have seen so many business plans. They have seen so many calculations. They know when you're lying. They know when you're experienced. You can't hide that, like as much as you want to. Like, sell yourself as a cheap company. I mean, no one accepts that.
No.
Because that is not the realities of life. The realities of life is that everyone grows up and everyone has needs.
Yeah.
And an experienced investor knows that. I mean, they just don't buy that.
And some investors, now I'm stealing your limelight a little bit, answering my own question, but I mean, some investors for sure, they don't invest in too cheap companies. Like they have a lower threshold for what they invest in, or in publishers as well, because their overhead is so large. So like if they want to be over a certain threshold, so you can actually shoot yourself in the foot if you ask for too little. But and also if you live on noodles for 5 years when you're making this game, you're not going to feel well. So like
you will die. Basically.
So our investors actually told us like you should give yourself more salary because you're adults and we understand that you need to live. So but we were like, but we want to build a company. They're like, fine for now, but please, think about this.
That should be in your business plan to actually increase your salaries, because you won't be students when you're 30. Like,
exactly.
That is not the reality of life.
And then, hopefully you work with an experienced investor who will know this and appreciate that.
And
they
encourage
don't want
you.
Yeah,
because if they believe in you, they will know that it has a price, and they will be willing to pay that price. But if they're just looking to exploit you, then you should also be very scared.
Yeah, I mean, it's a partnership, so don't work with someone, don't take money from someone who will, whip you until you repeat it.
That won't be good either. Yeah.
No, exactly. We have a few more minutes, so let's see if we can fit in some more questions. What, according to you, is the coolest thing you have done during your career?
I mean, all right, there are two. Like the first thing is that when we released Castle Cats, we were featured in one of Google Play's I/O's events in San Francisco. So that was really cool. It's like see your game on a super big screen with a lot of Google devs. That was amazing. But the second thing, the biggest thing, really, is merchandise. Like when we got our plushies, that was amazing. So yeah, that was the biggest thing in my career. Really, I love plushies. Yeah, those cat plushies are so cute, and I love them. And that was such a super big milestone for us to be able to do. So when we had those in our office, I was ecstatic. Like that was the achievement of my life so far.
Yeah, I mean it's tangible. Like you have something.
It's a physical product. It's so cool.
It's a bit of a milestone. Like you don't make plushies for a game that no one cares about.
Exactly. So it does show that you have come so far, or
Yeah.
at least a step further. So yeah, I'm
That is
definitely
really
proud
cool.
of that.
I want plushies too.
Definitely have it in your business plan.
Yeah, in the future, next game. Yeah, but you talked a little bit about the plans for the future, like you have a new game, but like, what's the long-term plans for PocApp?
I think that is to become an even more stable studio, because still, like, we only have two games that are doing well. That is not a lot to stand on. I mean, we have to make sure that we have how to say financial stability, a secure future. I want to be able to provide my employees with how do you say trygghet.
Yeah,
What the-
security.
security. I want
Yeah.
I want them to feel appreciated, and that they have a future, like, with our studio, that is not like, oh, maybe we will, like, how to say, go i konken next week. Like, you don't
Yeah.
want that feeling. You want a feeling of success, of content, of happiness, and that's the goal, to just be able to live off our our studio comfortably. I think that is our future nearest goal, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good goal, I think, to have, to grow into something stable that you know will
Sustainable,
be around,
exactly.
sustainable, that will be around for
A
many
long
years to
time.
come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What tips do you want to share to any aspiring game devs that are watching?
Spend a lot of time on YouTube, like looking at the previous talks, conferences, especially if you're like completely new to how to manage a business. There are a lot of business talks out there. I mean, you should try to absorb as much information as you can when you're a student, because that is when you have the most time to do that. Usually, like in our position now, when we already have a studio, you don't have that much time to do research. Usually you're just thrown into something like, solve this now. You have 1 day or 2 days to solve this. You can't really educate yourself in the same way as you could when you're a student. So definitely take advantage of that. Don't just play games all the time, but try to like
To
divide
learn the
it.
crafts and
Exactly, hone your craft.
yeah. Okay, we have finally time for some quick questions.
Quick questions.
Yeah. So Pikachu or Charmander?
Oh my gosh, that's hard.
I
Charmander.
thought it was a quick question.
Charmander. Yeah.
Okay. Wizard or Rogue?
Wizard.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Multiplayer or single player?
Single player.
And Grizzly or Panda?
Panda.
Cool.
Aw.
Thank you so much. That's
you
the time
too.
that we have. Great questions and great answers, especially.
you.
I didn't write the questions, so I can say that they were good questions. But
Good
thank you so
questions.
much for your answers, and thank you everyone for watching.